Hello and welcome to your embodiment practice today. Our theme today is gratitude, and so I have a little contemplation for us to start with. And if you want to receive this contemplation in a meditation posture, you can do that. If you want to get started on maybe a few stretches that really feel good to your body, that you know help get you ready for a little bit of asana practice, feel free to do a little stretching. It'll be a short contemplation, but for gratitude today, I want to take a slightly different approach. Frequently, when I hear gratitude practices, it's just to kind of think of the things that you are grateful for in your life and to, contemplate those and appreciate those. And I think that's a good practice. And I want to take a little bit of a more tantric approach because that approach is generally helps us feel good. And as you know, the goal of tantric yoga practice is not to feel good, but to really connect to the truth. And so I do hope that feeling good is a side effect of this way of contemplating gratitude. And that is that I would like you to actually search out the places in your life where you feel a lack. Places where you don't feel gratitude, where you feel like you don't have enough of something. And this can be as little or as big as you want it to be. And I'll just give you a few examples. A really easy one for many of us is feeling like we don't have enough money, feeling like we want to have more and to be able to do more things, to be able to do the things we want to do. And so in that instance, you would really get in touch with the feeling where you're not having enough of what you really would like to have, and then seek out the places in your life where that's actually not true, where you actually do have enough to pay your bills or to give yourself some of the things that you want. And so we're kind of like antidoting here, or we're using this contemplation on gratitude to sort of uproot untrue thoughts we have about our life. Another example might be your health. Perhaps you wish, you feel like there's certain areas where you're not as healthy as you'd like to be, or you have some limitations, some physical limitations. And so really just like feeling into that where you wish it was different. And then connecting into where your body is able to do things. You are able to do portions of this yoga practice. You are able to, go some of the places that you enjoy going and do some of the things you enjoy doing. So just take a moment right now. I could give a lot of examples here, but I don't want to talk too much. This can be in any area of your life. Take a moment right now to feel into where you really feel like you don't have enough. And let yourself feel that maybe despair, or sometimes it feels like a desperation. And then seek to prove yourself wrong. Find even the smallest place in your life where you actually do have that thing that you're wishing for. Maybe you actually do have a bit of free time. Maybe you actually do have some connection with a loved one. whatever you wish you had more of, appreciating whatever amount of it you do have. And once you've used thoughts to bring yourself to this place, then just focus on the feeling. So use whatever thoughts you need to recognize that you have even the tiniest bit of what you think you wish you had. And then allow that feeling of gratitude for that, whatever amount you're able to find. Allow the feeling of gratitude to be what you focus on. Shift your attention from the thoughts to the feeling in your body. What does gratitude feel like in your body? And you can allow your breath to deepen. Allow your jaw to relax even a little bit more. And then we're going to take a simple forward bend. So you can just be in a easy cross-legged position. And go ahead and have your right foot in front of the left. And from here, we'll just fold forward. Should feel a stretch in one or both of the hips. And you just walk your hands out until you feel that stretch. And you can allow any more contemplations to arise if you, as we go through our physical practice, if you start to remember any other areas where you feel lack, and you can remind yourself of how much you actually have. Just allow those thoughts to come. And we can also invoke this in each yoga pose. So it can be a common thing to get into a pose and kind of immediately feel like, I should be able to go further, or I wish I could go further, or why am I so tight? And you may not experience any of those, but if you do, doing the same contemplation there, just turning it around. I can go this far. That's amazing. In 10 years, I might not be able to go this far. You might be able to go further in 10 years, but we just never know what's going to happen in life, right? So just appreciating where you're at right now. I can feel my body in this pose right now with this breath. And then walking the hands back up and just switching the legs now. So make it so the left leg is in the front. Any cross-legged is fine, however you want to do it. You might even do half lotus. And then once you've switched the legs, walk the hands back out. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the neck. You can let the head hang down. No pressure, no forcing. And then walk the hands back up. And we'll take a simple twist here. Turning to your left. Placing the left hand behind you. And kind of straightening through that left arm to help lift your chest. And as you turn to the left, really deep breath into your rib cage. And just tuning into the subtle sensations of the ribs moving with the breath. And then releasing that side, turning to the right, shifting around, right hand behind you, straightening through the right arm to lift your chest, and turning to the right. Jaw is relaxed as you send that slow, deep breath into the ribs, paying attention to the movement of the ribs. The movement that happens all day long and we generally don't notice it. Noticing it now, paying attention now, appreciating that your ribs expand for each breath. Good, and release. Okay, we're going to come up to standing for some slow sun salutations. So you can find your way to the front of your mat. Standing with your feet hip distance, your arms relaxed by your sides. Just taking mountain pose for a few breaths. Appreciating the ability to stand here and feel your whole body. Sometimes we criticize our own posture or structure, how we stand in the world. And right now, just appreciating the strength of your body. The stability, the groundedness of your body here in mountain pose. And then we're going to bring the hands to the heart, but not in namaste, kind of like touching the heart with the fingers on the heart and the elbows out. And we're going to do a few movements with the breath and opening the heart and the chest. So as you inhale, we're going to open up into kind of a standing back bend, just whatever feels good. Don't go deeper than it feels good to, opening the arms wide. And then as you exhale, we'll kind of round the chest and coil in. So a few like that, using your breath to do almost like a standing cat's breath, opening and contracting the spine. And feel free to let your knees bend a little bit if you need to here. Let your pelvis move also. There can be some fluidity with this. Sometimes when we start to undulate with the spine, it can feel as if there's limitation. Like I don't have enough fluidity in my spine or enough mobility in my spine, and instead shift it into, my heart can open this much. My spine can move this much. How lucky. And on the next exhale, we're going into the forward bend. So just at your own pace, folding over. And relax in the forward bend, relax the neck. Feel free to bend the knees or have the legs straight, whatever feels good. We'll do a few pulsations here. Inhale and lift the chest halfway. Hands come to the legs. Exhale and fold down, back into the forward bend, relaxing, rounding. And we'll do that a few times. Just again, inviting that undulation, that fluidity into the spine. Inhaling up and exhaling down. A few more. And then relaxing all the way down to the full forward bend. Maybe even just giving a very gentle pull on the legs or the feet. And then from here, we'll bend the knees, bring the hands down, and step back to plank. So plank, shoulders over the wrists. You could always set your knees down if it's too challenging to stay in the full plank. So knees down or knees up, few breaths here. Jaw relaxed. One last breath, deep inhale. And then we're lowering all the way to the ground. Good. Stretch your arms by your sides. So we're going into Shalabhasana. In just a moment, we'll be lifting the chest and the legs. First, straighten your knees all the way. Press the tops of the feet onto the floor so you feel the knees lift up. Kind of tight kneecaps. Keep that and then lift the legs and the chest. You can rest anytime you need to and come back and join me when you can. This is one of the best poses I have found for strengthening for backbends, which we're working on today. Opening the heart and backbends. One more breath. Let the chin come down a little bit. And then release. Make a pillow with the hands, forehead down. Rock your hips a little side to side. Good, and then hands under the shoulders. We're pressing back to downward dog. You could take child's pose instead, if you like. A little more restful, a lot more restful. And whether you're in child's pose or downward dog, taking that moment to feel gratitude that you can put your body in this position, that you can be aware of your body, that you can breathe deeply into your body. Good, and then from here we're coming back to the forward bend, so you can look forward, bend your knees, and step or hop as you like, feet to the hands. We'll inhale and lift the chest. Exhale into the forward bend again. And this time all the way up as you inhale, rising up, reaching the arms to the sky. And hands together at the heart. And the next one will go a little bit faster, build a little bit more heat, circulation. And this will be Surya Namaskara B. Bring your feet together. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. And we'll stay here with a few pulsations. As you exhale, sink your hips lower into chair. Sweep the arms down and back. As you inhale, rise up just a little bit. You're not straightening the legs, you're reaching the arms to the sky. As you exhale, deepen down. So we're staying in chair and we're just pulsing. Couple breaths like this. Last one. We'll inhale, reaching the arms up, and then exhale, forward bend, straighten your legs. Good, and then bend the knees, step back, plank. Couple breaths and plank. If you come down early, just appreciating how long you stayed. Appreciating your ability to come down. Give yourself rest when you need it. We all meet on the ground. Returning to Shalabhasana, arms by your sides. Inhale, lift. Chest, legs. Lengthen the back of the neck. Relax the jaw. Straighten your knees. And then release. Hands under the shoulders. Downward dog. And then from here we step the right foot forward. Okay, right foot forward. Set the back heel down. And rising up into warrior one. Front knee is bent. If you need to, you can do a high lunge. You can lift the back heel up. It's a way to modify this, make it more accessible. Deep breath here into your legs. And then release. Bringing the hands down, step back to plank. And this time we'll lower directly down. And move the hands forward. Maybe 6 inches to a foot. And we'll lift up into a cobra. Pelvis on the ground. And go ahead and bend your elbows. Don't lock out the elbows, which can kind of give you some congestion in the shoulders and neck. Bend the elbows, pull the shoulders down. And that same thing with the straight legs here. Strong kneecaps. And then lower down. Adjust your hands so they're under the shoulders. Press back, downward dog. Left foot steps forward. Back heel down for warrior one. Bend the front knee. Lifting the back heel as an option if setting the heel down feels too hard. Deep breath. If it feels really easy, bend your front knee a little more. And then we'll exhale down. Step back to plank and lower all the way. Move your hands forward. But if this felt really easy, you can keep your hands closer. We just want to keep the elbows bent, at least a little bit, wherever you're at. So Cobra can also be a great strengthener for the arms. Feel the shoulders pulling back, the chest opening. And just gratitude, appreciation for your body, wherever you get with this. And release. Press back, downward facing dog. Or child's pose. From here, look forward, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold. Bring your feet together, or as close together as they can reach. And then chair pose again, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sink the hips down, reach the arms up. And this time in chair, we're going to sink the hips down, sweep the arms down and back. Interlace the hands. Straighten the elbows. And now, as you stay in chair, this is a challenge here. If you want to just do the previous chair, feel free. You're going to kind of round your spine and try to bring your forehead towards the knees. And you've got to really kind of pick your chest up and round like in cat's breath to get anywhere near this. Lift the arms up and away. Deep breath. Good, release. Come all the way up to standing. Straighten the knees, reach the arms up. And exhale the arms down. Just take a few deep breaths here. Feeling your whole body. All right, from here we're going to come down onto the back for some abdominal work and some back bending. So it's not not getting easier necessarily just because we're on the floor. So once you're laying down, go ahead and lift both legs up into the air and straighten the knees as much as you can. Bring your hands to your belly. So when you're doing this, try to line up your feet over your hips. It's not any special alignment thing, it just makes it harder. If you're kind of hovering out there, it's a little bit easier than if you try to get that length in the back of the hamstrings. And also you're using the abs to kind of pull your legs in. Press the heels up towards the sky. Take a couple deep breaths here. And you could be modifying this. Having your knees bent might be really challenging for some of us. You can do that. Spread your toes. Good. And then we'll bend the knees. Set the feet down. You might also feel that in your thighs. So we're going to do one leg at a time now. So stretch your both legs out. I like to keep my hands on the belly because then I can feel the muscles that are working. But you can have your hands anywhere you like. And we'll do just one leg at a time. And lifting, doesn't matter which one. Just lifting one leg up. Straightening through that leg, pressing through the heel, spreading the toes, and feeling one side working more than the other. Even though the whole belly is stabilizing here, and then slowly lowering. Other side. And lowering that side down. So now we're going to try and lift both legs up at once. I like to bring my hands under my hips for a little support for this one. And you might have to bend your knees to get the legs up off the ground. But just see what you can do here. Press out through the heels, straighten the legs, and start to lift those legs slow if you can, all the way up. And then we'll go back down. If it feels real easy for you, you can take your hands out because those are assisting. So a few of these, awareness being the focus, the goal. Maybe you only do one or two. Maybe you do 5 or 6. Jaw relaxed. Just appreciating whatever your body can do. Good, and then we'll bend the knees and place the feet flat on the floor for bridge. And if bridge is hard for you, you can feel free to use a block under the tailbone. Bring the feet in close to the hips, feet about a foot apart. Tuck your shoulder blades under so the chest is nice and open for this stable back bend. And then we're going to scoop the pelvis and lift up off the ground. Now, a lot of times this pose is taught where you interlace your hands, and you can do that. But I want you to also try it with the arms extended, and just notice your breath in each of those positions. And then choose the one where you can have the most freedom in your breathing. Lifting your chest toward the chin, lifting your ribs up into the sky, so arching your whole back, and very deep breath, jaw relaxed. And then we're going to slowly lower down. You can lift your heels up and bring your upper back down first, then the middle back, so you're kind of rounding your back all the way down. Lower back sets down before the tailbone does. Good, and then stretch your legs out. Wiggle the legs. And then just an easy twist, bending both knees and letting them drop over to one side. The opposite arm reaches up and out on the ground. And then changing sides, letting the knees roll over the other direction. The arm that's opposite the legs reaches back behind you and up a little on the ground. Good, and then coming back to center. And from here, we're going to come up onto the knees. For camel. And I like to give my mat a couple folds here so that the knees have a nice pad. And curl the toes under. So we'll do this a couple times with a few different options. And the first one is just keeping the hands on the hips. And the way I like to put my hands is to have my fingers either pointing up or out. Because if I put my hands with the fingers pointing down, the chest tends to collapse. It's fine to do it that way, just I like it. It feels better to go opening. So use your hands on your lower back and kind of press the hips forward. And then I also like to use the reference of my hands to lift my ribs up away from my fingers. So the first thing I get is a lift before we go into the back bend. It's making a lot of space. And just feel here, this first round, you don't have to go really deep. Just feel for making space, as if you could lift each vertebrae off the one below it and rise up chest into the sky. Take a deep breath into the rib cage, into the chest. And as you exhale, keep that lift that the breath gave you. Head can be forward or back. Just notice if letting the head go back hurts your neck, you don't have to let it go back. Okay, let's release that. And just sit back on your heels, if that's possible, or you can just sit regular. One hand to the belly, one hand to the lower back. Deep breath here. And just noticing if any thoughts arise, like I used to be able to do this better, or I wish I could go deeper. If you're free of those thoughts, then have gratitude for that. How wonderful. Okay, second round, rising back up onto the knees, curling the toes under. And we'll do one side at a time. So we're going to lift the right arm up, stretch it up so you feel that whole right side lengthen, and then reach back and lean for the heel. Okay, so just one hand, right hand on that heel, even if you have to lean back a little bit to get it. And then push forward, push the hips forward, reach that left arm up and back. And if you need to, you can hold the head here. Put the left hand behind the head and hold that to support your neck. Deep breath. And then rising up. Other side. Left hand stretches up. Got some length there. And reach back. Lean back as much as you need to reach that heel. And then once you've got that heel, push the hips forward. And then you can stretch the right arm up and back. Holding the head if that supports you. And release. Sitting down. Breathing into the lower back, the lower belly. So as we repeat these back bends, you may start to feel, the back is a little bit tight. That's normal. But if it feels like sharp and painful, then don't go any deeper. You can do the same thing we did in the first round. You can repeat that for this final round. So coming up onto the knees. If it feels like you're at your limit, you come back, keeping the hands on the hips. If both of those hands on the ankles felt good, then you can try both sides at the same time. So I lean back a little bit to get both, and then push the hips forward, lift the chest towards the chin, only if it feels fine on your neck. You can let the head go back. Take a deep breath, jaw relaxed. And then when you rise up, the head is last. Leave the head back until you're all the way up. And sitting down again. Coming to a neutral spine before we fold forward. Maybe sending some prana there with your hands, with your breath, to the lower back. And then twisting just the spine, whatever position your legs are in, doesn't matter. Twist to the right. And then to the left. Good, and then we'll release and sit down. You can, if you used your mat folded, you can unroll that. And we're going to extend the right leg in front. Bend the left knee for Janu Shirshasana. So left knee bent, right leg extended. We're going to fold over that right leg. And take it slowly. Actually, just go halfway at first, because we've just been doing the back bends, right? So either holding on to the knee or hands on the ground. And there's a little twist here. There's a subtle twist where you turn your chest towards that right foot. And maybe even extend up through the crown of the head. And then just slowly folding forward. Thank you, body, for letting me take this shape. If you get any little pain signals that tell you to back off, listen to those. That's sharp pains or kind of questionable pains where you're like, I don't know about that. And when you do, thank those as well. Thank goodness my body can send me pain signals to let me know when to back off. Okay, we'll release that side. Change to the other side. The left leg extends long, the right knee bends. Foot is in by the inner thigh. Turning towards the left leg and just going halfway, either holding the knee or hands just kind of out, arms extended. Turn your heart towards the foot and extend through the top of the head. And then when the halfway point starts to feel just totally chill, then you can release forward, holding onto the ankle, the foot, whatever you reach. Good, and then slowly releasing that. And we're making our way to Shavasana. So can set yourself up for a restful posture. You can always take Shavasana in a meditation position instead if you prefer that. Just allowing your body to be receptive. Allowing yourself to feel gratitude for the ability to relax here. The ability to take this time out as a gift for yourself. Relax the jaw, the face. Let your body sink into the mat. And set your breath free. So you can remain in Shavasana for as long as you like. But if you're ready to complete your practice at the 1 hour mark, you can start to take some deeper breaths here. Allow some movement to come to your body, anything that feels good. Just in your own way, you can move to a seated position. So I hope you'll take this gratitude practice into your day. You can use it when interacting with family, when you maybe wish somebody was different, more of something or less of something. Instead, appreciating whatever amount of that they're able to bring. Can transform your life if you bring that little reminder every time you feel any lack. So we'll close with an Om. Hands together at the heart. Take a deep inhale. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.